Alright, hey guys, forgive my video quality. I know that my videos, I make them on a laptop. My laptop is an expensive laptop, and I don't know why it has such a shit camera. Probably because it's not designed for making videos. It's designed for gaming. So, yeah, whatever. Anyway, my video today is going to be pretty um, negative. So if you don't want to be triggered, I would click off of the video. You saw the title of the video. I'm bitching about um, in the United States how our resource taxpayers' dollar is being completely misutilized. And a lot of people are not going to like this video, especially people that are ticks on the hound's ass. This is not a video that is made for children. I would highly appreciate if anyone who is under the age of adulthood would please click off of the video. Because I am going to curse in the video and I'm going to say some stuff that's not really appropriate. I'm also using a product in this video that is nicotine. So I do vape in my videos. So there you go. Public disclosures made. Now let's get to the subject. So today, I'm a big space enthusiast. I like EVE Online. Y'all know that I play that game. Some of you have seen me put videos on the internet about that game. So yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I don't like space. I love space exploration, and I think that it's a very integral part of our journey as humans. We're going to have to reach for the stars and continue to reach for the stars because if we don't, eventually our sun is going to run out of fuel. The sun is fading. The In 15 million years, it's estimated 15 million years, the moon will absolutely break its gravitational pull with the Earth and drift off into Never Never Land, and or slingshot back into the Earth and destroy everything. So we have got to find another home. And a lot of people think, okay, so 15 million years is not that, 15 million years is forever away. Yeah, in the concept of our lifetimes, it is. But in the concepts of, in the concept of the age of the universe, it's not that long. It's really a blip on the radar. So it's going to pass as quickly as it did here on Earth. And you know what I mean? It's going to pass very quickly. So the sooner that we start realizing that figuring out a way to live on another planet or get to another habitable planet is probably within humans' best interest, and for our survival is probably the best thing that we can do. Now, the reason that I'm bitching is that 15 million years until the moon actually starts breaking up or creating an issue for life on Earth is long enough away that they shouldn't be using trillions of dollars of taxpayers' money to send a probe to an asteroid located somewhere in the Kepler belt between Jupiter and Mars that's worth, they said, they say $10 quadrillion, something like this. That's worth more than the global economy. Why? And it's the reason they're sitting there is because it's suspected that the asteroid is made, its composition is asteroid Psyche, 16 Psyche is the name of it, and it is estimated to be made of gold, nickel, and iron. They don't know that for sure, but the spectrometer and the other stuff that's looked over there, I mean, they wouldn't be putting that much money on it if they didn't know pretty indicatively that that's what it is. So, but my question is that, okay, they were supposed to send the probe this year on October 10th, 2022. However, due to software issues, I'm always bitching about the software designers and how the algorithms are all messed up on every device that you use these days that are supposed to be, AI advanced, and the algorithms are supposed to be okay to do everything, right? Well, they're not. And we all know that. So like most of your smartphones are not smartphones, they're stupid phones, right? Because those are the very basic algorithm writing that the programmers do, and they can't get that right. So it's not any surprise to me that they didn't get the software correct to send this probe on time. So I have a real issue with that too, and we'll talk about that later in another video. Because of the quality of software designing and program writing that is out there, there's a reason that it's suffering in quality. And I think most people that are in the industry know exactly what the reason is. So, long story short, we should not be wasting at the end of a pandemic, right? And I'm sure that this was put in motion many years ago. Regardless, this should not be a top priority of our administration during a time when millions upon millions of Americans are having trouble feeding their children. These are not lazy people that are on welfare. These are people that worked their entire lives. They have children, or they're single, and they just simply lost their jobs or their livelihoods due to the pandemic. Rather than spend the ungodly amount of money that they're spending from our tax money that has been paid into the pot, into the pool, rather than spend that on an exploration mission to find out if they can simply map over a 21-month period, they're going to send this probe to go around and around and around and map this asteroid that's 226 kilometers big, wide, whatever. They're going to go around and around that and map it to make sure that it's made of the gold, nickel, and iron that they want it to be made of. And then what? Because you don't have the technology to send anything to harvest anything. You can't even send a piece of dust back from Mars. You can't even send a half ounce of fucking dust back from the planet of Mars, which is our nearest neighbor, and you're sitting here talking about you're going to be able to. What are you going to do with the asteroid once you find out it's made of? It has a good portion of gold. But what are you going to do with it? Because it won't be until the year 2009 that this probe reaches. 2029 that the probe reaches this asteroid that's made of gold. And then what? Right? So this is my biggest pet peeve with space exploration, and with it happened in the past, it's happening again. That our main objective right now with space should be the colonization of Mars, and all of our resource and all of our thoughts and minds should be on that. Okay, not a moon base. And why not a moon base? Well, we could essentially place one there for getting us back and forth from Mars more easily than launching us out of our atmosphere. But the point is that this planet is absolutely going to overpopulate in no time flat. If you look at the statistics on the amount of population between 100 years ago and now, you will understand what I'm talking about. Okay, we are populating at such a rate that it will not be even a half a century before we're overpopulated. The Earth does not have an infinite level of resource to support an infinite population. Okay? And so as we get into this, we need to understand that if we do not bring our rate of reproduction down and get it under control on this planet will not be feasible for life in a very short amount of time. In a very short amount of time. And the life of humans that will be here approaching that catalytic time, that catalyst that actually pushes us over the edge, it will be such a state of desperation that people will live in, that if you look at some of the slums of Brazil, or you look at some of the slum areas of other extremely highly populated, poverty-stricken countries and cities, you will understand what the entire world is going to look like. You'll understand what the entire of the United States, major cities, of all the other countries, you're going to understand what life is going to be like for people. because you got to remember that it is not even 1%. It is a zero. It is 0.001% of society that is able to utilize or benefit from uh, the discovery or the affirmation that that asteroid is made of gold, because their people will still be, after generation will still be in power when we have the technology to go there and harvest that asteroid, right? But the average person is not going to benefit at all, just like they never have, are not going to benefit at all from the acquiring of that resource. So that's what, people need to really wrap their minds around, is that as time goes on, we are seeing that people are not um, rising above their status like they used to be. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that there is in some countries what's called a caste system, okay? And it's not just in India, it is in other countries too, that a person's status, socioeconomic status that they are born to, is it. They never rise above that status. All right, I'm at 11 minutes in the video, almost 12, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. But because I know people don't like to watch these kind of videos for lengthy periods of time, unless you put a comment down below and say you like what I'm talking about, then fine, I'll talk some more. But I don't generally make videos. I've not made one that's kind of this in depth, but it just really struck me today when the article that was right above that was 19 states in the United States approve uh, SNAP benefits or food stamp benefits for families between $218 and I think it's $500, something like that. And which, if you are living in the United States right now, you understand that that is a minuscule amount of money to feed your family on, because right now, a gallon of milk is $10, 10 US dollars, if you want to buy a gallon of milk. It's ridiculous. Unless you want to buy the 90% water and hormone gallon of milk, that's only $6. So we are in a crisis right now in the United States, and they keep saying that this was the comment of the administration. Well, if we were to enter a recession, it probably wouldn't be that bad of one, and we would get out of it quickly. What kind of comment is that? So if it's going to happen, it's not going to be that bad. So just go ahead and let it happen. Don't do anything to try to prevent it. I don't understand that. I really don't. We are in dire straits, guys. The United States is in a financial crunch more than the average person really realizes. But let me rewrote. Actually, that's wrong. I just misspoke. It is not the average person that doesn't realize it. Actually, it's the average and socioeconomically average and below average from that point down that really understands it, because we're the ones that are suffering. We're the ones that are suffering great losses. We are sacrificing medications that we need to take. We are sacrificing a decent level of diet that we are accustomed to eating. We are sacrificing our mobility because fuel prices are so bad that we cannot afford to fuel our vehicles. We are facing such an economic catastrophe in this country, and the average person to below average person to poverty level person is feeling that impact and has been feeling that impact for the last probably 10, 15 years, maybe longer. So what gives? Who's working to try to make it better? Because I was always under the impression, because I'm not a political person, but I was always under the impression that the reason that we have the government that we have in place is that the people that are there are a representative for the different districts where the people live, right? So what's going on here? If the majority of our country are average to below average to poverty stricken, why are laws and stuff not being passed to help those people with relief? Why are so many laws being passed and so many things being passed to only benefit the elite? Because it's starting to look like what the rest of the world has been saying for a long time about the United States. And y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's terrible. That's a terrible thing if it's actually true. And it's starting to look that way because I can't imagine why any government body would say, okay, let's spend trillions of taxpayers' money right at the end or right at the end of a pandemic. Where now we're going into the level right below pandemic. I don't know what it's called, post-pandemic crises. Let's spend trillions of dollars on a turkey shoot long shot that maybe this asteroid's made of what we think it's made of, even though it'll probably be 100 years before we have the technology to harvest any of that resource, rather than take that money and divide it up and send it out to people that need it, to homeless people, to starving people right here in our own country. And I will tell you something that you're not going to hear on a lot of videos. We have people in the United States that absolutely die from malnourishment every day. And a lot of them. A lot of them. A lot more than what they're putting it out there. We have 875 million. That's almost, hey, wrap your head around that number. 875 million people is how much? It's almost 1 billion of our population on planet Earth that are in hunger status, that are having food shortage, that will absolutely be in a state of hunger, that are in a state of hunger and or famine right now on our planet. And yet we're spending what could feed them for several years. All of those people could feed them for several years very well. We're spending that to go take a look or take a gander at an asteroid that may or may not be worth $10 quadrillion. This doesn't make sense, guys. Peace out.